There is a world that awakens only when you close your eyes. It is not a void, nor is it merely the absence of light. It is a vast, sprawling landscape, more intricate than any map ever drawn by human hands, and it resides entirely within the quiet fortress of your own skull. Before we can drift into the deep waters of sleep, we must first understand the terrain we are entering. We must walk through the gates of the waking mind and step into the architecture of you. Imagine, for a moment, that the heavy, gray matter of the brain is not biological tissue at all. Strip away the clinical diagrams you have seen in textbooks. Forget the cold, sterile images of MRI scans. Instead, picture a dense, ancient forest at twilight. This is the true geography of your mind. It is a bioluminescent woodland, alive with the hum of 1 trillion invisible conversations. Here, in this garden of the neural cosmos, the trees are neurons. They are magnificent, towering structures, numbering in the billions. Like the great oaks or the weeping willows of the physical world, each neuron possesses a root system and a canopy. The canopy is formed by dendrites, branching out in fractal patterns, reaching desperately for their neighbors, yearning for connection. They weave together to form a canopy so thick that it blots out the silence, creating the intricate web of your consciousness. In the daylight of your waking life, this forest is ablaze. It is a thunderstorm of activity. Electrical impulses, the lightning of thought, crack across the sky of your mind at speeds of hundreds of miles per hour. This electricity is the physical manifestation of your to-do lists, your worries, your conversations, and your calculations. It is a bright, blinding white light. But now, as you lay your head upon the pillow, the sun begins to dip below the horizon of the skull. The storm is passing. The harsh, white light of urgency is softening into the golden hue of evening. We are here to witness the transition. We are here to watch the forest prepare for the night. As we walk deeper into this neural woodland, observe the ground beneath your feet. It is soft, covered in the moss of memory. Every step you take vibrates through the network. In the scientific world, we speak of synapses, the tiny, microscopic gaps between the branches of these neuronal trees. These are the spaces where the magic happens. A thought is not a static thing, it is a traveler. It leaps from one branch to another across these gaps, carried by chemical messengers, like pollen drifting on a breeze. During the day, this pollen flies in a chaotic blizzard. But now, the wind is dying down. The chemical messengers are changing. The frantic urgency of adrenaline and the sharp focus of norepinephrine are receding, soaking back into the soil. In their place, a slower, heavier mist begins to rise from the forest floor. This is the onset of inhibition, the quiet command to slow down. It is the brain whispering to itself, branch by branch, rest now. The work is done. But how does the forest know that it is time to sleep? The signal does not start in the branches, it starts in the wind. This brings us to the second element of our internal landscape, the breath as wind. Deep within the center of this forest, there is a river that runs through everything. It is a long, winding current that connects the brain to the heart, the lungs, and the stomach. This is the vagus nerve. In Latin, vagus means wandering, and indeed, this nerve creates a wandering path through the landscape of your body. It is the primary channel of the parasympathetic nervous system, the ancient biological machinery of peace. For most of the day, we ignore this river. We breathe shallowly, quickly, keeping the waters agitated and choppy. When the breath is short and sharp, the forest interprets this as a warning. The leaves rustle in panic, the electrical storms flare up. The body believes it is being hunted, even if the only predator is a deadline or a stressful email. But now, you change the wind. Visualize your breath as a gentle breeze moving through the trees of your mind. When you inhale deeply, expanding the diaphragm, you are sending a physical signal down the river. You are telling the vagus nerve that there is no danger. You are communicating in the only language the primitive brain understands, rhythm. As you exhale, slowly and completely, you are activating the brake pedal of the heart. It is a mechanical marvel. The exhalation stimulates the vagus nerve, which in turn releases a substance called acetylcholine onto the pacemaker cells of your heart. This chemical acts like a soothing hand placed upon a trembling shoulder. It physically slows the beat. Thump thump, to thump, thump. Can you feel that deceleration? It is the wind settling the leaves. The erratic gusts of the day are smoothing out into a steady, rhythmic draft. This wind cools the forest. It blows through the overheated pathways of the day's stress, carrying away the heat of overthinking. With every long, slow exhale, the wind whispers through the neural canopy, safe. 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 This is not merely a feeling, it is a physiological switch. You are moving from the sympathetic state, the state of fire and mobilization, to the parasympathetic state, the state of regeneration and digestion. It is the difference between a forest fire and a compost heap. One consumes energy to survive, the other breaks down nutrients to build. Sleep is the ultimate act of building. As the wind of your breath steadies the trees, the light in the forest begins to change fundamentally. We are approaching the threshold of stillness. In the language of neuroscience, the activity of your brain is measured in frequencies, in waves. When you are wide awake, alert, and processing information, your brain is vibrating in beta waves. These are choppy, fast, and inconsistent waves, cycling at 14 to 30 times per second. They are the waves of problem solving, of logic, of busyness. If you were to look at the forest in a beta state, it would look like a frenetic time-lapse video, shadows darting back and forth, branches shaking violently, lights flickering on and off without rhythm. But as the vagus nerve does its work, and the breath acts as the metronome, the frequency begins to slide down the scale. We are crossing the threshold into alpha. Alpha waves are the golden hour of the mind. They cycle more slowly, at 8 to 13 times per second. This is the bridge between the conscious and the subconscious. It is the state you enter when you stare out of a window at the rain and lose track of time. It is the feeling of lying in a hammock while the world continues to spin around you, irrelevant and distant. In our forest, the transition to alpha is a visual spectacle. Imagine the sun touching the horizon line. The harsh shadows lengthen and soften. The light turns primarily amber and violet. The frenetic sparking of the neurons begins to synchronize. Instead of random, chaotic firing, the lights in the forest begin to pulse in unison. Glow, fade. Glow, fade. It is a hypnotic rhythm. The billions of neurons are no longer shouting over one another, they are beginning to hum a choir's note. This synchronization is the lullaby of the self. It acts as a barrier to the outside world. In the alpha state, the sensory inputs, the sound of a car passing outside, the hum of the refrigerator, begin to lose their sharp edges. They are still there, but they no longer demand your attention. They become part of the background texture, like the sound of crickets in the distance. This threshold is a delicate place. It is easy to be pulled back. A sudden worry, a forgotten task, can spike the waves back up into beta, like a flare gun shot into the night sky, illuminating the forest in harsh white light again. But that is okay. The forest is patient. The wind of the breath is always there to cool the flare, to blow the smoke away, and to return the rhythm to the slow pulse of alpha. As you linger here, on the edge of the neural cosmos, you might notice that the boundaries of your self begin to blur. In the high noon light of beta, we are acutely aware of our bodies, the itch on the arm, the stiffness in the neck, the position of the legs. But in the twilight of alpha, the body begins to feel heavy, not with exhaustion, but with substance. It feels like sinking into warm sand. This heaviness is the forest settling its roots deeper into the earth. The sensory information traveling from your limbs to your brain is being dampened. The gatekeepers of sensation are slowly closing the heavy oak doors of the thalamus, a structure we will explore deeply later in our journey. For now, simply know that the path from the body to the mind is becoming overgrown with soft vines. The signals are quieter. The urgency of the flesh is fading. You are now standing in the center of the garden of the neural cosmos. The sun has set. The sky above the canopy is a deep, bruising indigo, dusted with the first few stars of the dream world. The air is cool and smells of rain and damp earth. The only sound is the rhythmic rustling of the leaves, synced perfectly with your breathing. Inhale, the canopy expands. Exhale, the branches settle. There is no need to navigate this forest. There is no path you need to find, no destination you need to reach. The geography of the mind is designed to hold you. You are not a visitor here, you are the forest itself. You are the tree, the root, the wind, and the sky. The day is done. The analysis is finished. The data has been collected, and the ledgers are closed. Here, under the bioluminescent glow of your own cooling neurons, there is only the present moment, stretching out like a quiet valley. We have established the geography. We have calmed the winds. We have watched the sun set into the golden rhythm of alpha. The foundation has been laid. The architecture of slumber is sound, and its gates are open. We are safe to linger here for a while, watching the fireflies of our remaining thoughts drift lazily through the dark, waiting for the moon to rise. The forest waits. The breath flows. The mind, that great and tireless engine, finally finds its neutral gear, coasting softly down the long, gentle hill toward the valley of rest. This is the garden. And you are the gardener who has laid down his tools. As we prepare to move deeper, to understand the chemistry that brings warmth to this night air, let us rest here for a moment longer, in the beautiful, complex, silent geography of you. The night is young, and the stars are just beginning to reveal themselves. Chapter 2, The Sunlit Meadows of Serotonin. We leave the dense, protective canopy of the neural forest behind us for a moment. The path opens up, widening into a vast, rolling expanse. Here, the air is different. It is not the cool, damp shade of the trees, but a space filled with a lingering, gentle warmth. You have stepped into the meadow of the mind, a place bathed in the golden, honeyed light of the late afternoon. This is the domain of serotonin. In the lexicon of modern life, we often confuse joy with excitement. We chase the sharp, electric spikes of adrenaline or the hungry craving of dopamine. We think happiness is a fireworks display, loud, bright, and fleeing. But true joy, the kind that allows a weary soul to rest, is not a firework. It is a landscape. It is this meadow. It is a sustained, steady radiance that does not demand anything from you. To understand why this specific feeling is essential for sleep, we must look at the chemistry of light within you. Imagine a painter standing before the canvas of your brain. Throughout the day, this painter uses many colors: the red of alert urgency, the gray of focus, the blue of calculation. But when serotonin flows, the painter dips the brush into a pot of liquid gold. This chemical is often called a neurotransmitter, but that word feels too mechanical for what it truly achieves. Think of it instead as an internal atmosphere. When serotonin levels are balanced and flowing like a lazy stream, your internal weather settles. The storms of anxiety break apart. The heavy fog of depression lifts just enough to reveal the horizon. It is the chemical of enough. It signals to the ancient, survivalist parts of your brain that there is no famine, there is no predator, and there is no immediate crisis. It is the biological equivalent of a deep, resonant sigh. All is well. This sensation is physical. You can feel it if you pay attention to the geography of your own chest. Close your eyes and recall a moment of pure, uncomplicated contentment. Perhaps it was sitting on a porch with a warm cup of tea, watching the rain fall. Perhaps it was the feeling of a heavy blanket on a cold winter night, or the sound of a loved one breathing steadily beside you. Do you feel that subtle expansion in the center of your torso? That is the memory of warmth. The brain and the body are not separate entities, they are a continuous loop. When you experience this warmth, you are witnessing the neural pathways of a smile, even if your face remains still. The muscles of the face, usually tight with the mask of social interaction, begin to slacken. The jaw, which holds the unsaid words of the day, unclamps. The forehead, furrowed with calculation, smooths out like a sheet of paper being pressed flat. This physical relaxation is a message sent back to the brain, confirming the presence of serotonin. It is a feedback loop of peace. The body tells the mind it is safe to soften, and the mind releases more golden light to bathe the body. In this meadow, we are far away from the cliffs of stress. Stress is a vertical experience, a climb, a fall, a struggle against gravity. Serotonin is horizontal. It is the feeling of lying down in tall, soft grass, watching the clouds drift by. Let us visualize this drifting. This is the third pillar of our chapter, drifting on golden clouds. Imagine that the floor of this meadow is not made of earth, but of a substance as soft and supportive as a cloud. As you lie back, the ground contours perfectly to your spine. There is no pressure point, no resistance. You are being held. The light here is crucial. It is not the blinding white sun of noon, which commands you to work and to see. It is the golden hour, that magical time just before sunset when the world looks like it has been dipped in amber. The shadows are long and soft. The edges of the world are blurred. This light does not pierce, it embraces. It is a scientific fact, yet it reads like poetry. Serotonin is the precursor to melatonin. The chemical of light and contentment is the raw material the body uses to create the chemical of darkness and sleep. Without the golden hour, the night cannot properly fall. We need this contentment, this pause in the meadow, to gather the resources for the deep journey ahead. So, how do we cultivate this field? How do we stand in this light before we sleep? We do it by shifting our focus from what is missing to what is present. Anxiety is an obsession with the future, a time that does not exist. Regret is an obsession with the past, a time that is dead. Serotonin lives only in the present. It is the appreciation of the texture of the sheets against your skin right now. It is the gratitude for the shelter of your room. It is the simple realization that in this precise second, you are breathing, you are warm, and you are safe. As you lie in this imaginary meadow, feel the temperature of the air. It is perfect, neither hot nor cold, but exactly the temperature of your own skin. You are dissolving into the environment. The barriers between you and the world are softening. Drift. Let the golden light seep into your muscles. Imagine it as a thick, warm liquid, like honey or warm oil, pouring slowly from the top of your head, down your neck, flowing over your shoulders, and trickling down your arms to your fingertips. Everywhere this golden liquid touches, the tension melts away. It coats the nerves, soothing them, quieting their electrical buzzing. It flows down your spine, coating the vertebrae, entering the hips, the heavy muscles of the thighs, the calves, and finally, the feet. You are encased in amber. You are preserved in a moment of absolute stillness. This is not the numbness of sleep yet, it is the heaviness of relaxation. It is the feeling of a cat stretching out in a sunbeam, utterly unconcerned with the concept of time. The cat does not worry about the mouse it didn't catch yesterday. It does not strategize for the mouse it might catch tomorrow. It simply accepts the warmth of the sun as a gift, here and now. This is the lesson of the meadow. To sleep, we must first learn to be satisfied. We must accept that the day's work is done, however imperfectly. We must forgive the unfinished list. We must accept the golden light. The chemistry of your brain is shifting now. The serotonin has done its work. It has leveled the emotional landscape, filling in the potholes of worry and smoothing down the mountains of stress. The ground is flat, soft, and ready. As the sun in this internal meadow begins to touch the horizon, the gold deepens into a rich, burnt orange. The warmth remains, but the light is fading. We are preparing for the next phase of the atmosphere. We have established safety. We have established comfort. We have felt the warmth of the sun. Now, we must look to the sky, where the first clouds are gathering. Not the storm clouds of anxiety, but the heavy, gray clouds of release. For in order to truly rest, sometimes we must let it rain. But for now, stay in the gold. Breathe in the amber light. Feel the smile in your chest. You are safe in the meadow, and the night is approaching with a gentle hand. Chapter 3, The Gentle Rain of Release. The golden light of the meadow does not vanish suddenly, rather, it is slowly, gently obscured. We look up from the grass to see that the sky has changed. The vast, endless blue has softened into a textured quilt of pearl and slate gray. The air has cooled. The scent of the wind has shifted from the warmth of dry hay to the crisp, metallic freshness of ozone and damp earth. We have arrived at the season of melancholy. In our waking lives, we are often taught to fear the clouds. We are told to chase the sun constantly, to smile without ceasing, to fix every leak in the roof of our happiness. But here, in the architecture of slumber, we know the truth: endless sunshine creates a desert. For the forest of the mind to grow, for the roots to deepen, rain is not just inevitable, it is necessary. This is the purpose of clouds. Melancholy is often misunderstood. It is not the crushing weight of depression, nor is it the sharp sting of grief. True melancholy is a soft, sweet sadness. It is the feeling of reading the last page of a beautiful book. It is the quiet ache of missing a friend who lives far away. It is a state of reflection that demands nothing from you but your presence. Imagine these clouds gathering above you now. They are not storm clouds, black and bruised with thunder. They are the soft, low-hanging stratus clouds that blanket the world in silence. They act as insulation. When the sky is gray, the world feels smaller, more intimate. The distant horizons disappear, and we are invited to look inward. As the first drops begin to fall, visualize them washing over the landscape of your day. Each drop is a moment of release. We carry so much dust on our skin, the dust of small failures, of awkward conversations, of opportunities missed. The rain does not judge the dust, it simply washes it away. It turns the hard, dry soil of the mind into soft, pliable earth. Listen to the sound. Tip, tap, tip, tap. It is the most ancient lullaby on earth. The random, yet rhythmic sound of rain acts as pink noise, a frequency that mirrors the brain's own resting waves. It creates a wall of sound, a sonic curtain that separates you from the demands of the world outside. Inside the rain, you are hidden. As the rain falls, we notice a change in our own bodies, specifically around the eyes. This brings us to the phenomenon of the heavy eyelids. There is a profound biological link between emotion and exhaustion. Have you ever noticed how, after a good cry, or even after a moment of deep emotional honesty, a sudden wave of sleepiness washes over you? This is not an accident. It is chemistry. The fluid of our eyes, our tears, is not merely salty water. It is a complex cocktail. When we hold on to our stress, we are holding on to high levels of manganese and adrenocorticotropic hormones. When we allow ourselves to feel, even just to acknowledge a heavy feeling, the body prepares to release these chemicals. But you do not need to weep to feel this. You only need to accept the heaviness. Focus on your eyelids now. Feel the weight of them. In the waking world, we fight this weight. We prop our eyes open with caffeine and artificial light, forcing them to witness more than they can handle. But here, under the gray sky, we let gravity win. The heaviness is a gift. It is the physical manifestation of the phrase, letting go. It is the muscles around the eyes, the orbicularis oculi, finally receiving permission to stop scanning for danger. As the eyelids droop, they act as the shutters on a house, closing against the weather. They seal the warmth in. They block the light out. With the shutters closed, we seek our refuge. We find our shelter in the storm. In this chapter of our journey, imagine that you are no longer in the open meadow. You are inside a small, wooden cabin nestled at the edge of the forest. The cabin is modest, built of rough-hewn logs that smell of cedar and pine. There is a single window, and through the glass, you watch the rain fall on the trees. This is the sanctuary of solitude. There is a vast difference between loneliness and solitude. Loneliness is the pain of being alone, solitude is the glory of it. Loneliness feels like being stranded in an empty room, solitude feels like wrapping yourself in a thick wool blanket. In this cabin, you are safe. The walls are thick. The door is locked from the inside. The storm outside is not a threat, it is a guardian. The bad weather keeps the world away. No one will knock on the door in this rain. No phone will ring. The weather has cancelled all obligations. Inside, there is a fireplace. The fire is the anger we cooled in a future chapter, now tamed into a gentle, warming glow. The light in the room is dim and flickering, casting long, dancing shadows on the walls. The only sound is the crackle of the wood and the steady drumming of the rain on the roof. Drum, drum, drum. This sound is the heartbeat of the house. It confirms that you are sheltered. There is a profound comfort in being warm while the world outside is cold, in being dry while the world outside is wet. It reinforces the boundary of your own skin. You end here. The world begins there. And there is a wall between you. Allow yourself to sink into the furniture of this room. It is old, soft leather, worn smooth by years of rest. Curl your legs up. Pull the blanket tighter. In this space, you can unpack the heavy baggage you have been carrying. You can look at your sadness, your worry, your fatigue, and you can place them on the table. You don't need to fix them tonight. You don't need to analyze why they are there. In the dim light of the cabin, they look less like monsters and more like old, dusty artifacts. Let the rain wash the roof. Let the clouds hang low and heavy. Let the gray light seep into the windows. This melancholy is not here to hurt you. It is here to slow you down. Sunshine demands energy, rain demands rest. It is nature's way of saying, halt. Feel the cozy, safe enclosure of the cabin. Feel the heaviness of your eyelids, weighted down by the day, sealing shut like the heavy velvet curtains of a theater. The show is over. The audience has left. The stage is dark. There is nothing left to do but listen to the rain. Wash away. Wash away. Wash away. The water runs in rivulets down the glass, blurring the view of the forest until it is nothing but a smear of green and gray. The outside world is dissolving. The clarity of vision is replaced by the clarity of feeling. You are safe in the shelter of your own release. The rain will continue all night, standing guard over your sleep, a million tiny soldiers tapping on the roof to let you know they are there. Let the storm hold you. Let the gray surround you. Let the heavy lids close. The rain is falling, and you are dry. Chapter 4, The Ancient Watchman. The rain from the previous valley still patters softly against the windows of your memory, but we must travel deeper now. We leave the wooden cabin and the open meadows behind. We are descending into the bedrock of the mind, traveling back through time to the very oldest part of your human architecture. Here, in the dim, torchlit corridors of the brain stem, sits a figure we know too well. We often call him anxiety. We call him stress. We call him panic. But these are names given in misunderstanding. Here, in the quiet dark, we shall call him by his true name, the Ancient Watchman. To find peace, we must make peace with him. Deep within the temporal lobes of your brain, there are two almond-shaped structures called the amygdalae. For millions of years, long before you were born, long before cities were built or languages were spoken, the watchman has stood at his post. He is the most loyal servant you will ever have. He does not sleep. He does not eat. He stands on the ramparts of your consciousness, holding a lantern high, scanning the darkness for the glint of a predator's eye. In the modern world, we often resent the watchman. We feel his presence as a tightness in the chest, a shallow breath, a racing heart at 3 a.m. We interpret this as a malfunction. We think, why can't I just relax? Why is my mind racing? But consider the watchman's perspective. He does not know about emails. He does not understand deadlines, or unpaid bills, or social awkwardness. To him, every shadow is a tiger. Every loud noise is a rockslide. Every uncertainty is a threat to your survival. When you feel that surge of anxiety, it is not your body failing you, it is your body trying desperately to save you. It is the watchman shouting, prepare. Run. Fight. But tonight, there is no tiger. There is no rockslide. There is only the soft pillow and the heavy blanket. The first step to sleep is not to fight the watchman, but to thank him. Fighting anxiety only creates more noise, which the watchman interprets as more danger. Instead, imagine approaching this weary, ancient figure. He looks tired. His armor is dented from 1,000 battles. His hand shakes slightly as he holds the lantern. Walk up to him in your mind's eye. Place a gentle hand on his shoulder. Feel the tension in his armor. Whisper to him, across the chasm of evolution, I see you. I know you are trying to protect me. But the gates are locked. The bridge is drawn up. We are safe. This acknowledgement allows us to retreat into the safety of the cave. Evolutionary psychology teaches us that we feel safest when our back is protected. Our ancestors did not sleep in open fields where danger could approach from any angle. They slept in caves, in crevices, in high places where the terrain itself was a shield. Visualize your bed now, not as a piece of furniture, but as a cave carved into the side of a massive, unmoving mountain. The walls around you are solid stone, cool, dry, and impenetrable. These walls are miles thick. No sound from the outside world can vibrate through this granite. No signal can penetrate it. You are nestled at the very back of this cave. The entrance is far away, a small circle of twilight in the distance. Between you and that entrance lies a fire, the warm, glowing embers of the day's energy. This fire keeps the wild things at bay. Feel the solidity of the mattress beneath you. It is the floor of the cave. It is firm and unyielding. It supports your weight completely. You do not need to hold yourself up. If the ground has held the mountains for eons, it can certainly hold you for one night. In this cave, the air is still. It has a heavy, earthy quality to it. It is the scent of safety. Here, the what-ifs of the future cannot reach you. The future is out there, beyond the cave mouth, carried away by the wind. In here, there is only stone, shadow, and the rhythmic sound of your own existence. This sense of enclosure triggers a biological shift. It is the signal for the cortisol to retreat. Cortisol is the fuel of the watchman's lantern. It is the chemical that keeps us alert. But in the safety of the cave, the fuel is no longer needed. We have arrived at the final ritual, the signal to stand down. Imagine the watchman standing at the entrance of your cave. He has heard your thanks. He sees the thick walls. He sees the fire. And slowly, for the first time in 16 hours, he begins to lower his arm. Watch the lantern descend. The light, which was casting sharp, dancing shadows on the walls, begins to dim. The watchman turns a dial on the side of the lantern. The flame shrinks. Lower, lower, lower. As the light fades, the shadows in the cave soften and merge. The sharp edges of your thoughts blur. The urgency of the day dissolves into the gloom. The watchman takes a seat by the fire. He takes off his helmet. He sets down his spear. He leans his head back against the rock and closes his eyes. He is off duty. This is the moment your heart rate begins to sync with the slow, geological time of the mountain. Thump, pause, thump, pause. The adrenaline that was coursing through your veins, making your legs restless and your mind sharp, is now draining away, seeping into the earth floor. You might feel a sudden jerk in your body, a hypnic jerk. Do not be alarmed. This is simply the muscles letting go of their last grip on vigilance. It is the physical sensation of the watchman dropping his keys. The silence in the cave is absolute. It is a thick, velvet silence that wraps around your ears. The vigilance is gone. There is no one watching the door because there is no need. The darkness itself is the door. You are alone in the most beautiful way possible. You are hidden. You are buried deep beneath the noise of the world, protected by the ancient rock of your own biology. The watchman is sleeping. The lantern is out. The cave is warm. Rest now. The shift is over. Chapter 5, The Cooling of the Volcanic Stone. We leave the silent, protective cave of the watchman and travel deeper into the geology of the soul. Here, we encounter a different element. It is not the wind of breath, nor the rain of sadness. It is heat. It is the subterranean rumble of the volcano. This is the landscape of anger. In the waking world, we are often told that anger is a destructive force, something to be hidden or swallowed. But in the architecture of sleep, we understand that anger is simply energy. It is the body's way of saying no. It is the heat of a boundary being crossed. It is the magma of the self, bright, orange, and alive. The problem with this magma is not its existence, but its temperature. Sleep requires a cooling of the core. You cannot rest while your blood is boiling, you cannot drift while the ground beneath you is trembling with unsaid words or unresolved injustices. So, let us look at the fire's energy with compassion. Visualize the anger you might be holding on to, a frustration from work, a sharp word from a loved one, a global injustice, as a pool of glowing lava sitting in the crater of a volcano. See how bright it is. It illuminates the night sky with a fierce, red glow. It is powerful. It has served you during the day, giving you the drive to change things, to stand up, to speak. But the time for action has passed. The sun has set. The day is over. The fire no longer needs to roar, it needs to settle. We begin the process, from magma to rock. Imagine that your bed is situated on the edge of this volcanic island, right where the lava flow meets the vast, dark ocean of the night. You are safe here, watching the elemental interaction. Watch the slow, thick river of orange lava moving down the mountainside. It moves sluggishly, heavy with its own weight. As it approaches the water, listen for the sound. Hiss. It is the sound of fire meeting water. It is the sound of heat leaving the system. As the lava touches the cool, dark ocean of sleep, a miraculous transformation occurs. The bright, angry orange begins to darken. Patches of gray appear on the surface of the flow. Then, patches of black. The liquid is becoming solid. The movement is becoming stillness. Feel this happening in your own body. Anger often lives in the jaw, the hands, and the center of the chest. It feels like a tight, hot knot. Now, imagine cool ocean water washing over these areas. With every exhale, you are pouring water on the stone. Exhale. The jaw unclamps. The rock cools. Exhale. The fists unclench. The magma hardens. Exhale. The chest softens. The red glow fades into a quiet, dark gray. The rock is no longer dangerous. It is no longer moving. It has become obsidian, smooth, dark, and cool to the touch. It is heavy, yes, but it is a grounded heaviness. It is the foundation of the island. The anger has not been repressed, it has been transformed into stability. It is the bedrock upon which you can rest. As the heat leaves the stone, we witness the final phenomenon of this landscape, the steam of peace. When hot lava meets cool water, it creates steam. Massive, billowing clouds of white mist rise up from the shoreline. In our landscape, this steam is the fog of forgiveness. Forgiveness, for the purpose of sleep, is not about saying what happened was okay. It is not about pardoning the other person. It is simply the act of releasing the heat so that you do not burn. It is the decision to stop carrying the hot coal in your hand. Watch the white steam rise. It is thick and soft. It begins to roll over the island, obscuring the sharp crags of the rocks. It covers the history of the day in a blanket of white silence. Under this mist, the details of your conflict begin to fade. The exact words that were spoken, the specific look on someone's face, the precise feeling of the insult, they are all being swallowed by the gentle, white fog. They are still there, perhaps, but they are soft now. They are distant. They are wrapped in cotton. The air around you becomes humid and tropical, comfortable and slow. The hissing sound of the cooling rocks dies down, replaced by the rhythmic lapping of the ocean waves against the new stone. Splash, retreat. Splash, retreat. The volcano is dormant. The crater is quiet. The ground beneath you is no longer trembling, it is solid, cool, and ancient. You are lying on the cooling stone, feeling the last remnants of warmth dissipating into the night air, leaving you perfectly temperature regulated. The fire has done its job. It protected you when you needed it. But now, the fire sleeps within the rock. You are the island. You are the cool stone. You are the mist that floats above it all, untethered, weightless, and free. The heat is gone. The night has won. Chapter 6, The Invisible Threads. We have walked through the bioluminescent forest of the mind. We have rested in the sunlit meadows of serotonin. We have sat within the sheltered cabin while the rain of melancholy washed the glass, and we have cooled the hot volcanic stones of our anger in the vast, dark ocean. Now, the landscape shifts once more. We are no longer standing on the solid ground of the island. Instead, we are lifting off, floating gently upwards into a space that is vast, quiet, and filled with a soft, interconnecting light. We are entering the realm of connection. In the silence of the bedroom, when the lights are out and the door is closed, it is easy to believe the illusion of isolation. The darkness can feel like a wall, separating you from the rest of the living world. You might feel like a solitary ship drifting in an endless, black sea. But this is merely a trick of the light. In the architecture of slumber, there is no such thing as true isolation. You are, and have always been, part of a constellation. We are here to reveal the invisible threads that hold you. We are here to explore the gravity of the heart. The gravitational pull of oxytocin. Let us begin by visualizing the space around you not as empty air, but as a medium filled with invisible currents, like the ocean currents that carry whales across the globe, or the magnetic fields that guide birds home. These currents are the pathways of connection, and the force that drives them is a powerful, ancient molecule, oxytocin. In the cold language of the laboratory, oxytocin is a neuropeptide produced in the hypothalamus. It is often reduced to the simple label of the love hormone. But to call it that is to underestimate its grandeur. Oxytocin is the biological gravity of the human species. Just as gravity reaches out across the vacuum of space to keep the moon tethered to the earth, preventing it from drifting into the void, oxytocin reaches out from your nervous system to tether you to the tribe of humanity. Imagine, for a moment, the history of your own biology. For hundreds of thousands of years, sleep was a communal act. Our ancestors did not sleep in private rooms behind locked doors. They slept in piles, in circles, skin against skin, the rhythmic breathing of the group creating a collective lullaby. To be close to others was to be safe. To be separated was to be in danger. Tonight, even if you are physically alone in your bed, your brain still craves that ancient reassurance. It is searching for the tribe. Visualize a soft, glowing, golden thread extending from the center of your chest. This is your filament of connection. It does not end at the walls of your room. It passes effortlessly through the brick and mortar, traveling across the city, across the ocean, across time. It connects you to the people you love. Picture the faces of those who make you feel safe. A parent. A partner. A childhood friend. A loyal dog sleeping on a rug. Even if they are miles away, even if they are no longer walking this earth, the thread remains. Oxytocin is the current that hums along this wire. When you focus on this connection, when you actively remember the feeling of being loved, your brain releases this chemical in a slow, warm wash. It is an antidote to cortisol. It tells the amygdala, our ancient watchman, that the tribe is close. It whispers, you are not alone. You are part of a whole. Feel this gravity taking hold. It is a grounding force. It pulls you down, gently, into the mattress. It is not a heavy weight that crushes, it is a comforting weight that anchors. It keeps you from floating away into the anxiety of the unknown. You are held in place by the love you have given and the love you have received. You are a planet in a stable orbit, balanced perfectly in the gravity of belonging. The weight of a hand. As we float in this web of connection, we descend from the abstract to the physical. We move from the thread to the skin. The skin is the boundary of the self. It is the wall that separates me from not me. But it is a porous wall, designed to be breached by one specific thing, touch. There is a specific type of nerve fiber in your skin, known to scientists as C-tactile afferents. These nerves are not designed to tell you if something is hot or cold, rough or smooth. They are designed for one purpose only, to register slow, gentle stroking. They are the biological receptors of comfort. Tonight, let us simulate the weight of a hand. If you have a heavy blanket, pull it up to your chin. If you have a pillow, hug it against your chest. If you have nothing but the air, imagine the air itself becoming dense and velvet-like. Visualize a hand, large, warm, and infinitely gentle, resting on your shoulder. It is the hand of a protector. It is a hand that asks for nothing. It does not want you to move. It does not want you to work. It simply rests there, a static, reassuring pressure. Press, and hold. This pressure triggers a profound physiological cascade. When the body registers this kind of weight, it stimulates the vagus nerve, that wandering river we explored in the first chapter. The heart rate slows instantly. The blood pressure drops. The levels of stress hormones in the blood evaporate like mist in the morning sun. Imagine this weight moving down your body. A warm hand on the forehead, smoothing away the frown lines of the day. A warm hand on the chest, steadying the rhythm of the lungs. A warm hand on the stomach, unknotting the tension of digestion. This is the weight of the hand. It is the sensation of being soothed. It harkens back to the very first memories of your existence, before you had language, before you had worries, when you were simply a being that was held. If you are sleeping alone, know that the bed itself is offering this embrace. The mattress rises to meet you, pressing against your back, your legs, your arms. It is a continuous, solid touch. The sheets brush against your skin, stimulating those C-tactile nerves, sending a constant stream of Morse code to your brain: safe. Soft. Safe. Soft. Allow yourself to be small. In the waking world, you have to be big. You have to be an adult, a professional, a problem solver. But here, under the weight of the invisible hand, you can be small again. You can be the one who is taken care of. You can relinquish the responsibility of holding yourself together. Let the gravity of the bed hold you together. Let the invisible thread support your structure. You can go limp. You can soften. The embrace is unbreakable. Belonging to the night. Finally, the threads of connection stretch even further. They go beyond our family, beyond our friends, and even beyond our species. They stretch out into the velvet darkness of the universe itself. We often look at the night sky and feel overwhelmed by its vastness. We feel insignificant, like a speck of dust in an infinite void. But the architecture of slumber offers a different perspective. You are not a stranger in this universe. You are a child of it. Look up, into the imaginary sky of your mind. See the stars. They are not cold, distant lights. They are the furnaces that created the very atoms in your blood. The iron in your veins, the calcium in your bones, the carbon in your breath, all of it was forged in the hearts of ancient stars that collapsed billions of years ago. You are made of star stuff. You are not in the universe, you are the universe, experiencing itself as a human for a little while. This realization brings a profound sense of belonging. The night is not an alien environment. It is your home. When you close your eyes, you are returning to the great, silent womb of the cosmos. Feel the rotation of the earth. It is a slow, steady spin, carrying you at 1,000 miles an hour through the darkness. You don't have to do anything to stay on. Gravity holds you. The atmosphere protects you. The planet is a massive spaceship, and you are a passenger in the sleeping quarters. There is a rhythm to this belonging. It is the rhythm of the tides, pulled by the moon. It is the rhythm of the seasons. It is the rhythm of the day and night. By sleeping, you are rejoining this rhythm. You are stepping back into the flow of nature. The waking world is a world of separation, of my car, my job, my problems. The sleeping world is a world of unity. In the deep waters of Delta that we will soon reach, there is no I. There is only existence. Let go of the need to be a separate individual. Let the boundaries of your ego dissolve like sugar in warm water. You are melting into the night. You are becoming part of the silence. Listen to the silence of the room. It is not empty. It is the hum of the universe waiting for you. It is a silence that has existed for eons, a silence that is thick with peace. You belong here. You have a right to rest. You do not need to earn this sleep. It is your birthright as a creature of this earth. The trees sleep in the winter. The flowers close their petals at dusk. The animals find their burrows. And now, you, too, find your place in the great choir of breathing things. The invisible threads are woven tight. The net is secure. You are connected to the earth, connected to your loved ones, and connected to the stars. There is no place you need to go. There is no one you need to be. You are here, held by the infinite gravity of love and existence. Drift on this web. Let it cradle you. It swings gently in the cosmic wind, rocking you back and forth, back and forth. Sway and drift. Sway and drift. The threads are strong. The night is kind. You are not alone. You are home. Chapter 7, The Glittering Path of Wonder. We have been held by the gravity of the earth and the invisible threads of connection. We have felt the weight of the blanket and the reassuring heavy hand of the atmosphere. Now, as the body becomes anchored in safety, the mind is free to detach. We are ready to loosen the moorings of the rational world and push off from the dock. We are entering the landscape of curiosity. But this is not the sharp, jagged curiosity of the daylight, which seeks answers and solves problems. This is the soft, blurry curiosity of the night, which seeks only to wander. We are stepping onto the glittering path of wonder. In the waking world, we are obsessed with facts. We organize our lives into columns of true and false, urgent and finished. We build walls of logic to keep the chaos out. But here, on the edge of sleep, the walls are crumbling. The logic is dissolving. And in the cracks of that dissolving logic, something beautiful begins to glow. The spark of dopamine. Let us return to the image of the forest, the garden of the neural cosmos we explored at the beginning of our journey. It is night now in the garden. The sun is long gone. The moon is hidden behind the clouds of release. The darkness is thick and velvety. But look closely at the spaces between the trees. Blink, blink, blink. Do you see them? Tiny, floating specks of light, drifting lazily through the humid air. They are fireflies. In the biochemistry of your brain, these are the sparks of dopamine. We often misunderstand dopamine. In the high-speed culture of the day, we think of it as the molecule of addiction, of craving, of more. We think of it as the hunter that drives us to check our phones, to buy the new thing, to chase the promotion. That is the hunter's dopamine, sharp, hungry, and restless. But tonight, we are meeting the dreamer's dopamine. This version of the molecule is not a hunter, it is a guide. It does not want you to catch anything. It simply wants you to look. It is the biological spark of wonder. It is the feeling you had as a child when you looked into a dark closet and imagined a secret world, or when you stared at the ceiling and saw shapes in the plaster. Visualize these fireflies in your mind. They are not moving in straight lines. They are meandering. They drift up, catch a gentle breeze, spiral down, and hover. They follow no schedule. They have no destination. Follow one of them with your inner eye. Pick a single, soft yellow light. Watch it float past the heavy trunk of a tree, over the fern-covered ground, and deeper into the woods. Follow, and float. Follow, and float. This act of following the firefly is the bridge between being awake and dreaming. When we focus on the wonder of what if, rather than the worry of what is, we engage the imagination. And the imagination is the doorway to the subconscious. Allow your mind to become like a child's hand, reaching out not to crush the firefly, but to let it land on your finger. Feel the tiny, cold tickle of its light. It is a thought that doesn't make sense, perhaps an image of a floating castle, or a memory of a blue apple. Do not brush it away. Do not say, "That is impossible." In the land of the fireflies, nothing is impossible. The logic of the day is heavy and cannot fly. But the wonder of the night is weightless. The joy of the unknown. As we follow the glittering path deeper into the woods, we realize that we are walking into the unknown. For the ancient watchmen we met earlier, the unknown is a place of danger. To the survival brain, darkness means predators. But we have already thanked the watchman. We have already put him to sleep by the fire. Now, a different part of you is awake, the explorer. Think of the bed you are lying in. It is no longer just a mattress. It is a raft. You are lying on your back, looking up at the stars, drifting down a wide, slow-moving river. The current is carrying you toward a fog bank. You cannot see what is on the other side of the fog. In the day, this would be terrifying. You would want a map. You would want a GPS. You would want a spotlight to burn away the fog. But tonight, the fog is the destination. This is the joy of the unknown. It is the delicious surrender of not knowing where you are going. It is the feeling of opening a book to the first page, knowing that a whole world lies inside, but not knowing who lives there yet. Embrace the mystery. The darkness behind your closed eyelids is not empty black space, it is a canvas waiting for paint. It is a stage waiting for the actors. Feel the excitement, not the heart-pounding excitement of a roller coaster, but the soft, warm excitement of a secret. What will you dream of tonight? Will you fly? Will you visit a house you lived in 20 years ago? Will you speak a language you do not know? The unknown is a gift. It means you are free from the script of your life. During the day, you must play the character of you. You must wear your name, your job title, your responsibilities like a heavy costume. But in the unknown territory of sleep, you can take the costume off. You can be anyone. You can be the wind. You can be the river. Let the raft drift into the fog. The mist is cool and damp against your face. It smells of jasmine and old paper. The shore disappears. The stars disappear. There is only the white, soft silence of the mist. You are untethered. You are unmapped. And in this lack of direction, there is total freedom. You do not need to steer the raft. The river knows where it is going. The river of your subconscious flows to the ocean of rest, and it has never failed to reach the sea. Trust the current. The storyteller's voice. As we drift deeper into the mist, we begin to hear a voice. It is not a voice speaking words, but a voice weaving images. This is the storyteller. The human brain is a narrative machine. It cannot help but tell stories. Even when there is no sensory input, when the eyes are closed and the room is silent, the brain continues to weave. It takes the threads of your day, the memories of your past, and the hopes of your future, and it puts them onto a great loom. But in this transition state, this twilight zone known to science as hypnagogia, the storyteller begins to improvise. During the day, the storyteller is an editor. It says, "No, that doesn't make sense. Cars don't fly. Dogs don't talk." It forces your thoughts into a linear, logical line. But now, the editor has gone home. The storyteller is alone in the studio, and it is feeling playful. This is why, as you fall asleep, you might see strange, fleeting images. A giant flower unfolding. A geometric pattern spinning. A face you don't recognize smiling at you. A phrase that means nothing, like the velvet fork of noon. These are the fireflies of the narrative. Do not try to analyze them. Do not try to force them to make sense. If you try to use logic, you will wake up the editor, and the magic will vanish. Instead, watch the show. Treat these random thoughts like clouds passing across the sky. Oh, look. There is a blue horse. Oh, look. There is a staircase made of water. Accept them. Nod at them. Let them pass. This surrender to the nonsense is the final key to the gate of dreams. It is the moment you stop driving the car and move to the passenger seat. You are letting the storyteller take the wheel. Imagine the storyteller is an old, wise grandmother sitting by a fireplace, spinning yarn. You are sitting at her feet. Her voice is low, rhythmic, and hypnotic. She is telling a tale that has no beginning and no end. She weaves the yarn of your thoughts into a tapestry. Click, clack, goes the loom. Click, clack. The rhythm is steady. The pattern is emerging. The colors are blending. The sharp red of anger mixes with the cool blue of peace to make a soft purple. The bright yellow of joy mixes with the gray of fatigue to make a muted olive. The story is wrapping around you. It is becoming a cocoon. You are no longer observing the story, you are stepping into it. The logic of the world is far behind you now. You are walking on the glittering path, and the path is lifting off the ground. The laws of gravity do not apply here. The laws of time do not apply here. You are entering the library of the impossible, where every book is a life you could live, and every page is a landscape you can explore. Feel the shift in your mind. It feels like a softening of the skull. The hard bone of certainty is melting into the soft tissue of possibility. The edges of your thoughts are fraying, turning into smoke. You are drifting on the golden clouds we saw earlier, but now the clouds are taking shapes. They are becoming dragons, castles, faces, maps. Let the wonder wash over you. Be curious about the darkness. Be curious about the silence. What does silence taste like? It tastes like cool water. What does darkness feel like? It feels like velvet. The fireflies are gathering. They are forming a ring around you. Their light is pulsing in time with your heart. Pulse, and fade. Pulse, and fade. The path is clear. The wonder is waiting. You have left the shore of the known world. The raft is floating gently into the beautiful, nonsensical, magical mist of the dream. You do not need to know the way. The storyteller knows. Close your eyes, and listen to the loom. Click, clack. Sleep, sleep. The story is just beginning. Chapter 8, The Library of Sepia Memories. We have floated through the mist of curiosity and followed the fireflies of the imagination. Now, the fog begins to lift, but we do not return to the bright, harsh light of the present day. Instead, we find ourselves standing before a massive, ornate set of double doors made of dark, polished oak. The brass handles are cool to the touch. The wood smells of beeswax and thyme. We push the doors open, and they swing inward on silent hinges. We have entered the library of sepia memories. This is the domain of nostalgia. In the waking world, we often treat the past as a burden, a heavy sack of regrets and what-ifs that we drag behind us. But here, in the architecture of slumber, the past is not a weight. It is a collection. It is a vast, quiet archive where the chaotic, shouting moments of the day are turned into silent, leather-bound books. The air here is different. It is still, dry, and smells of old paper, vanilla, and dust. It is the smell of preservation. There are no windows to the outside world here, only the soft, amber glow of bankers' lamps sitting on mahogany tables. The silence is profound, not the empty silence of a void, but the respectful, heavy silence of a cathedral or a museum. It is a silence that honors what has been lived. The hippocampus archivist. Walk with me down the center aisle. To your left and right, the shelves rise up into the shadows, filled with millions of volumes. These are the records of your life. Every smile, every tear, every lesson, every touch is stored here. At the center of this great room sits a desk. Behind it works a figure of immense importance, a tireless worker who begins his shift only when your eyes close. Scientists call him the hippocampus. We shall call him the archivist. During the day, your mind is like a busy newsroom. Information comes flooding in, bright, loud, and urgent. A car horn honking. The taste of coffee. A stressful email. The texture of a handshake. These are hot memories. They are raw, jagged, and dripping with the chemicals of emotion, adrenaline, cortisol, dopamine. They are too volatile to be stored on the shelves. If you tried to put them on the shelf now, they would burn the paper. The archivist's job is to cool them down. Watch him work. He takes the raw footage of your day, a stack of bright, chaotic photographs, and places them on his desk. He picks up a special stamp. This stamp is the stamp of consolidation. He looks at the memory of the stress you felt at 10 a.m. In the moment, it felt like a tiger attacking you. But now, in the quiet safety of the library, the archivist examines it. He sees it for what it is, just a moment. A temporary spike in the graph. He takes a soft cloth and wipes the memory. This is the biological miracle of sleep. He wipes away the emotional heat. He strips the adrenaline from the image. He removes the visceral physical reaction. What remains is the fact, but without the sting. He stamps the memory. File. He picks up the memory of an awkward conversation. He wipes it. He smooths out the crumpled edges. He stamps it. File. This process, known to science as memory consolidation, is the reason why a heartbreak feels impossible on the first night, but bearable a month later. It is the archivist, night after night, wiping the tears off the photograph until it is dry. He is turning the vivid, screaming technicolor of the present into the soft, muted tones of the past. He is not erasing your life, he is curating it. He is taking the jagged rocks of your experience and tumbling them in the river of sleep until they are smooth, round stones that can be safely held in your pocket. The echoes of the past. As the archivist continues his rhythmic work, wipe, stamp, file, wipe, stamp, file, let us wander into the stacks. This section of the library is bathed in sepia light. Sepia is the color of distance. It is a soft, brownish gold hue that softens edges and blurs imperfections. When we view our lives through the lens of nostalgia, we are viewing it through this sepia glass. In the daylight, we look at the past and judge it. We think, I should have done that differently, or why did I say that? That is the voice of the critic. The critic is not allowed in the library. Only the observer is allowed here. Pull a book from the shelf. It is an old memory, perhaps from childhood. Open it. Inside, you see a summer afternoon from 20 years ago. But notice how the quality of the memory has changed. You cannot feel the mosquito bites anymore. You cannot feel the oppressive heat or the boredom. All that remains is the golden feeling of freedom, the smell of cut grass, the sound of laughter. This is the gift of the library, it filters out the pain and leaves the lessons. Walk further. See the shelves labeled Bold Loves. In the waking world, these shelves might be dangerous to visit. They might cause a pang of longing or regret. But here, in the deep calm of Chapter 8, they are just stories. Run your hand along the spines of these books. They are closed. The stories are finished. There is a deep peace in knowing that a story is finished. It means you do not have to write it anymore. You do not have to fix the ending. It is done. It is bound. It is safe on the shelf. You can look at a memory of a difficult time, a failure, a loss, a struggle, and see it not as a scar, but as an artifact. Like a pottery shard in a museum case, it is interesting. It has texture. It tells you where you came from. But it cannot cut you. It is behind the glass of time. Listen to the room. Can you hear the echoes? They are very faint. The voices of the past do not shout here, they whisper. They sound like a radio playing in another room, or a conversation happening on the other side of a lake. Murmur, murmur. These echoes are comforting. They remind you that you have lived. You have survived every single day up until this point. You have navigated thousands of days, millions of moments, and they are all here, filed away, proving your resilience. You are the master of this library. You are not trapped in it, you own it. You can walk past the shelves of embarrassing moments and smile at them, knowing they are just dusty old books that no one reads anymore. You can linger in the section of triumphs and feel a glow of pride. But mostly, you just walk. You enjoy the smell of the books. You enjoy the solidity of the floor. You feel the continuity of yourself, one long, complex story that is still being written, page by page, night by night. The art of forgetting. We reach the back of the library, near the loading dock. Here, we find a different kind of activity. It is not the careful filing of the archivist, it is the gentle sweeping of the custodian. To sleep well, we must remember. But to sleep deeply, we must also forget. The human brain is an energy-expensive machine. It cannot keep everything. If you remembered every single face you passed on the street today, every license plate, every color of every shirt, every word of every advertisement, your mind would become a hoarder's house. It would be cluttered, impassable, and chaotic. We need to clear the floor. This process is called synaptic pruning. It is the art of forgetting. Imagine the custodian moving through the aisles with a soft, wide broom. He is looking for the debris of the day, the mental trash. The frustration of traffic. The annoyance of a slow internet connection. The mindless scrolling of social media. The generic lyrics of a song you heard in a store. These are the dry leaves that have blown into the library foyer. They do not belong in the permanent collection. They do not serve you. They are clutter. Watch the custodian work. He sweeps them into a pile. Swish, swish. There is an immense satisfaction in this cleaning. It is the feeling of wiping a dirty chalkboard clean with a wet sponge. It is the feeling of emptying the trash bin on your computer. Delete. 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 Feel your mind getting lighter. The heavy static of the day is being swept away. The mental noise, the buzzing of 1,000 tiny, unimportant details, is fading. You do not need to carry the memory of what you ate for lunch 3 Tuesdays ago. Let it go. You do not need to carry the memory of the rude comment from a stranger. Let it go. You do not need to carry the worry about a weather forecast that might change. Let it go. The custodian opens the back door. The night air rushes in, cool, fresh, and clean. He sweeps the pile of dry leaves out into the wind. They scatter into the darkness, dissolving into nothingness. Gone. Turn back and look at the library now. The floor is polished and gleaming. The aisles are clear. The books are shelved neatly. The desk is tidy. The archivist has put down his stamp. He is turning off the desk lamp. Click. The pool of light vanishes. The library is now illuminated only by the faint, ambient glow of the moon coming through the skylights. The work is done. The memories of the day have been processed. The pain has been removed. The lessons have been saved. The clutter has been swept away. There is nothing left to process. There is no information left to manage. The ledgers are balanced. The silence deepens. It is a heavy, blanketed silence. The dust motes settle on the floor. The books sleep in their rows, their stories contained and quiet. You are no longer the archivist. You are no longer the custodian. You are simply the visitor who is leaving for the night. Walk towards the exit. Your footsteps are silent on the thick carpet. You feel lighter, unburdened, as if you have taken off a heavy backpack you didn't know you were wearing. The past is safe. The future has not happened. You are free. Push the heavy oak doors closed behind you. Thud. The sound is final. The library is closed. The archives are sealed. You step out into a hallway that is darker, cooler, and softer than the library. The air here is blue, a deep, rich midnight blue. We are leaving the realm of memory and thought entirely. We are moving toward the biology of the night itself. The lights are dimming in the hallway. One by one. Off. 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 You are walking into the shadow. The sepia tones are fading into the gentle gray of transition. The nostalgia is replaced by a simple, overwhelming desire to close your eyes and sink. The library is safe. Your history is safe. You can let go of the story now. The book is closed. The narrator takes a breath. Silence. We are ready for the pineal night. We are ready for the curtain to fall. Chapter 9, The Arrival of the Pineal Night. We have walked a long road together. We have traversed the electric forest of the mind, lain in the sunlit meadows of serotonin, sheltered in the cabin of melancholy, and cooled our anger on the obsidian rocks. We have spun on the threads of connection, followed the fireflies of curiosity, and filed our histories in the quiet library of memory. Now, the journey changes nature. We are no longer exploring the landscape of emotion or thought. We are entering the machinery of the transition itself. We are standing at the edge of the waking world, watching the physical structure of the day dissolve into the chemistry of the night. We have arrived at the pineal night. This is not a metaphorical night. It is a biological event, as real and as powerful as the tides of the ocean. Deep in the center of your brain, a tiny, pinecone-shaped structure, the pineal gland, has been waiting for this moment. For 16 hours, it has been dormant, suppressed by the blue light of the sun and the white light of your screens. But now, in the dim quiet we have created, it wakes. It is time for the tide to rise. The tide of melatonin. Imagine standing on a beach at twilight. The water is calm, glass-like, and dark. This is the reservoir of melatonin. It is often called the hormone of darkness, but tonight, let us think of it as the nectar of night. It does not hit you like a wave crashing against the rocks. It rises slowly, imperceptibly at first, creeping up the sand of your consciousness. Inch by inch. Ripple by ripple. This is the liquid signal to every cell in your body that the shift has changed. The sun is gone. The time for hunting, gathering, thinking, and doing is over. The time for repair has begun. Visualize this dark blue liquid being released from the center of your brain. It is cool, thick, and soothing. It begins to flow through your bloodstream, a river of night moving through the veins. Feel it in your fingers first. A subtle tingling, a heaviness. The tide is rising. Feel it in your forearms, your elbows, your shoulders. The tension is being submerged. The muscles, which have been holding you upright against gravity all day, are now floating in this blue water. They go slack. They detach from the bone. The tide rises higher. It reaches your neck, washing away the stiffness of holding your head up. It reaches your jaw, dissolving the clenched words. It reaches your eyes. This is the specific magic of melatonin. It lowers the core body temperature. To sleep, you must cool down. You must become like the night air itself. Imagine the heat of the day radiating off your skin, leaving you. You are becoming cool. You are becoming still. The internal engine is slowing down. The pistons are stopping. The fire is banking. The tide rises to your mind. This is where the sensation becomes most profound. It feels like a gentle fog rolling in over a harbor. The sharp outlines of your thoughts, the specific details of your to-do list, the jagged edges of your worries, are being swallowed by the blue water. They are still there, perhaps, underneath the surface, but they are deep now. They are muffled. You cannot reach them, and they cannot reach you. You are bobbing on the surface of this vast, dark ocean. The water is buoyant. It holds you up effortlessly. You do not need to swim. In fact, to swim would be to fight the sleep. You only need to float. Drift and sink. Drift and sink. The chemistry is undeniable. The melatonin is binding to receptors in your brain, turning off the wake-promoting neurons one by one. It is like a night watchman walking down a long hallway, flipping the switches. Click. The planning center goes dark. Click. The worry center goes dark. Click. The logic center goes dark. The hallway is dimming. The only light left is the soft, ambient glow of existence. You are fully immersed in the tide. The waking world is a distant shore, miles away, and you are drifting happily into the deep. Closing the gates. As the tide of melatonin rises, we approach the magnificent gatekeeper of the brain, the thalamus. The thalamus is the central relay station of your consciousness. During the day, it is the busiest airport in the world. Every sound you hear, every photon of light you see, every sensation of touch on your skin, all of it must pass through the thalamus before it reaches your conscious mind. It is the gatekeeper that shouts, "Listen to this," or "Look at that." But tonight, the thalamus has received the signal from the pineal gland. It is time to close the gates. This is a physical process known as sensory gating. It is the act of disconnecting the external world from the internal experience. Let us watch the gates close, one by one. First, the gate of vision. Even with your eyes closed, you may still see faint patterns or light. But now, the thalamus gently pulls the heavy velvet lever. The connection to the optic nerve is dampened. The images fade. The visual cortex, usually hungry for stimulation, grows quiet. The blackness behind your eyes becomes deeper, richer. It is no longer a screen waiting for a movie, it is simply a void. A peaceful, infinite void. Second, the gate of sound. The world is full of noise. The hum of the refrigerator, the wind outside, the settling of the house. During the day, these sounds are alerts. Now, the thalamus lowers the volume knob. It dampens the signals from the auditory nerve. Listen to the sounds in your room right now. Notice how they are beginning to sound distant. They are moving away from you. It is as if you are submerged underwater, and the sounds of the surface are muffled and garbled. They no longer carry meaning. A car passing by is not a car, it is just a vibration. A creak in the floor is not a creak, it is just a texture in the silence. The sound is not disappearing, but your caring about the sound is disappearing. The gate is latched. The noise stays outside. You stay inside. Third, the gate of touch. This is the final and most profound gate. For the last hour, you have felt the bed beneath you, the blanket on top of you. You have been aware of the position of your legs, the placement of your hands. This is proprioception, the sense of self in space. Now, the thalamus begins to sever this link. Notice your body. It is beginning to lose its edges. Where does your skin end and the mattress begin? It is becoming hard to tell. You feel less like a solid object and more like a cloud of sensation. Your arms feel incredibly heavy, yet weightless at the same time. They are sinking through the mattress. Your legs are dissolving into the sheets. You are experiencing the dissolution of the body boundary. You are no longer a person lying on a bed. You are simply a point of consciousness floating in space. The physical vessel has been docked. The pilot is stepping out. The gates are closed. The fortress is sealed. No light can enter. No sound can disturb. No sensation can distract. You are alone in the inner sanctum. The silence is absolute. It is a silence so deep it feels like a physical presence. The velvet curtain. We have reached the final threshold. The chemistry is flowing. The gates are locked. We are standing on the stage of the mind, and the show is over. It is time for the velvet curtain to fall. This is the moment of transition. The scientists call it the hypnagogic state, but let us call it the twilight bridge. It is that magical, fleeting moment where you are neither awake nor asleep. You are both. You are everything and nothing. Visualize a massive, heavy curtain hanging above the stage of your mind. It is made of the thickest, darkest velvet imaginable, a blue so deep it is almost black. It is heavy with the dust of stars. It begins to descend. Slowly, down. Slowly, down. As it lowers, it covers the last remaining thoughts of the day. The thought of tomorrow's breakfast. Covered. The memory of the conversation. Covered. The awareness of your name. Covered. The curtain touches the floor of the stage with a soundless thud. Behind this curtain, the logic of the world ceases to exist. There is no time here. There is no linear progression. Past, present, and future are all the same thing. You are now standing in the lobby of the dream. You might feel a sensation of falling. This is not a frightening fall, it is a delicious one. It is the feeling of a leaf detaching from a branch and drifting slowly, spiraling down towards the soft moss of the forest floor. Fall, and trust. Fall, and trust. Surrender to the gravity of the sleep. Do not try to catch yourself. There is no bottom to hit. You will just keep falling deeper and deeper into the soft, warm velvet. The conscious mind, the part of you that calls itself I, is flickering like a candle flame in a gentle breeze. Flicker. Dim. Flicker. Let it go out. You do not need to be you anymore. You can just be. The darkness is total now. But it is not the darkness of a cave, it is the darkness of a womb. It is warm, nourishing, and alive. It is the darkness of potential. You are safe. You are disconnected. You are dissolving. The curtain has fallen. The applause has died down. The theater is empty. The lights are out. There is only the breath. In and out. In and out. The breath is the only thing that tethers you to the world of the living. Everything else is gone. You are ready. You are heavy. You are sinking. The pineal night has swallowed you whole. The transition is complete. You are no longer on the bridge. You are in the water. And the water is deep, and dark, and kind. We go now to the bottom. To the delta. To the silence that heals. Chapter 10, The Deep Waters of Delta. We have reached the end of the map. We have walked through the whispering forest of the neural cosmos. We have drifted on the golden clouds of serotonin. We have sat in the cabin of melancholy and cooled our anger on the volcanic rocks. We have spun on the threads of connection, chased the fireflies of wonder, and closed the heavy oak doors of the library of memory. We have watched the velvet curtain fall and felt the tide of melatonin rise to swallow the world. Now, there is nowhere left to go but down. We are leaving the surface entirely. The surface is where the wind blows. The surface is where the waves crash and break. The surface is where the light of the moon touches the water. But we are going deeper than the light can reach. We are going to the place where the water is so heavy, so dark, and so still that it feels like solid ground. We are entering the deep waters of Delta. This is the destination of the entire journey. This is the holy grail of rest. It is a place that many visit, but few remember, for to be here is to forget that you exist at all. It is the realm of the slow wave. The slow waves. In the beginning of our journey, we spoke of the beta waves, the high-frequency, choppy, chaotic electrical storms of the waking mind. They vibrated at 30 cycles per second, a frantic, buzzing energy. Then we slowed to alpha, the rhythm of the sunset. Then to theta, the rhythm of the dream. But now, the brain shifts into a gear that feels ancient, almost geological. These are the delta waves. Imagine the ocean. On the surface, there are whitecaps, ripples, and waves driven by the wind. These are your daily thoughts. But if you dive down, past the blue, past the indigo, into the black, you encounter a different kind of movement. You encounter the swell. Delta waves are the swell of the human soul. They are massive, slow, rolling mountains of energy. They cycle only 1 to 4 times per second. 1, 2, 3, 4. Visualize this rhythm. It is not a sound, it is a physical sensation. It is the feeling of being in a hammock that swings not quickly, but in a long, slow arc that takes minutes to return. Sway. Return. Sway. Return. In this state, the billions of neurons in your brain have stopped their individual chatter. They are no longer gossiping with their neighbors. They are no longer passing notes. Instead, they have joined hands. They are chanting in unison. The entire forest of the mind is swaying together in the same direction, at the same time. This synchronization is the most powerful electrical event the brain is capable of. It is a thunderous silence. It is the sound of the entire system agreeing to stop. If you were to look at the electrical map of your mind right now, it would look like the rolling hills of a dark landscape. Up and down. Up and down. Smooth. Unbroken. There is no room for a thought in a delta wave. A thought is a small, sharp thing. A delta wave is a leviathan. It swallows the thinker. In this state, you do not dream. You do not remember. You do not fear. You simply are. You have become the ocean. You are no longer the swimmer struggling to keep his head above water. You are the water itself, vast, deep, and heavy. Feel the weight of this water pressing against you. It is not a crushing weight, it is a comforting embrace. It holds you together. It presses the air out of your lungs and replaces it with peace. It presses the tension out of your muscles and replaces it with lead. You are heavy. You are so heavy that you could not move a finger if you wanted to. But you do not want to. The will to move has been dissolved. The desire to be anywhere else has been washed away. You are riding the slow wave. You are surfing the silence. The restoration. While your consciousness floats in this dark, weightless void, a miracle is taking place within the machinery of your body. This is the reason we sleep. This is the great restoration. During the day, the act of being alive is destructive. Thinking burns fuel. Moving tears muscle fibers. Stress creates toxins. The city of your body becomes cluttered with the debris of existence. But in the deep waters of Delta, the cleaning crews arrive. Imagine the streets of a great city at 3 a.m. The traffic is gone. The noise has died down. Now, the sweepers come out. The repair trucks arrive. The masons begin to patch the cracks in the stone. In your brain, a system known as the glymphatic system wakes up. It is a hidden plumbing system that only opens when you are in deep sleep. Visualize a crystal clear river. The gates open, and this river floods the city of your mind. It rushes through the spaces between the cells. It washes over the neurons. It picks up the metabolic waste, the dust of your thoughts, the plaques of your worries, and carries them away. Wash. And clear. Wash. And clear. It is a physical purification. You are being scrubbed clean from the inside out. The fog of the day is being rinsed away, leaving the glass of your mind sparkling and transparent. Simultaneously, deep in the marrow of your bones and the fibers of your muscles, another crew is at work. The pituitary gland, sensing the depth of your sleep, releases a burst of growth hormone. Think of this not as a clinical chemical, but as a golden elixir of repair. It travels to the tired muscles of your legs. It travels to the skin of your face. It travels to the lining of your stomach. Where there is a tear, it stitches it. Where there is a bruise, it soothes it. Where there is weakness, it builds strength. It is the invisible mason, laying fresh brick on the walls of your fortress. It is the gardener, replanting the flowers that were trampled during the day. This happens in silence. It happens without your permission. It happens simply because you surrendered. You do not need to try to heal. You only need to get out of the way. You have arrived. The journey is complete. The architecture is finished. The forest is quiet. The meadow is dark. The cabin is locked. The volcano is cold. The library is closed. The ocean is still. You are safe. You are whole. You are asleep. Drift here on the ocean floor for as long as you need. The world will wait for you. The sun will rise again, but not yet. Not for a long time. For now, there is only the water. There is only the dark. There is only the deep, slow, healing rhythm of the delta. Sleep. Sleep. Sleep.